For years, I personally wondered, why do countries thousands of miles away spend billions in Afghanistan? Why would taxpayers in Europe and America pay for food distributions in the mountains of Afghanistan? Foreign aid has one job: to save lives, reduce suffering. In theory, billions of dollars flowing into a poor country should build schools, power plants, jobs, and better life. But here is the crazy part. The very system designed to help Afghanistan may have accidentally kept it poor. And why, after $109 billion in US aid alone, does Afghanistan still struggle with basic electricity, functioning institutions, and jobs? Let's break down what really happened on the ground. Aid's supposed to be simple, free assisting during crisis, food, fuel, cash, reconstruction, almost anything. No loans, no interest, no repayment, just help. According to USAID, $109 billion has been spent on Afghanistan since 2001. That's about $4.7 billion every single year. And this is only from USAID, not counting the European Union, the World Bank, Japan, or dozens of other donors. Once aid is approved, it is distributed among NGOs and contractors and different agencies: education projects, healthcare programs, DoD, infrastructure, energy projects, emergency response, humanitarian aid. The system looks very good on paper, but here is the trap inside the system. Aid money comes with spending deadlines. If a project isn't finished on time, the money gets wasted, or worse, it gets our budgets. This is a Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction. SIGAR report shows an audit of Afghan National Security University revealed that project was $21.3 million over budget and 16 months late. This creates a dangerous incentive. Aid agencies and contractors focus on short-term deliverables instead of long-term impact to be able to get more projects. They started to chase numbers, not the results. This is why so many projects in Afghanistan started, burned money, got delayed due to war, corruptions, or bad planning, and never benefited the people they were meant to help. This is Zafar 207 military base. This military base near Herat airport was using 8 generators, each 800 kV, running day and night on fuel. Running this base cost $33,000 per day, only for fuel. That's $1 million a month, $12 million a year, just to keep up the lights on. And that for a country we're hardly able to feed its people. Yet for around $1 million, they could have built a power line from the airport grade, only 7 kilometers away, or installed a solar system with battery storage. But they didn't. Why? Because aid created a system of profitable dependency. Generators means contracts. Contracts meant fuel consumptions. And fuel consumptions meant money. And stopping aid meant everything collapsed. Now imagine this to multiple bases across Afghanistan, and then calculate how much money wasted monthly. The energy sector wasn't different. Here is the Kajaki Dam in Helmand province. According to SIGAR, USAID and US Department of Defense spent $775 million on Kajaki Dam and related projects. But Afghans in the south still never received the intended electricity. Projects were designed to start, not to finish, designed to look big, not to deliver big. A system full of delays, paperwork, and progress reports, but very little actual progress on the ground. It was a full consumption of capital, labor, and time, but minimal output. But here is the truth nobody likes to talk about. The aid wasn't the only problem. Afghanistan never had the management systems to absorb billions of dollars in the first place. No modern auditing, no procurement controls, no accountability, and all of it, a political economy built on warlord networks and elite deals. Corruption wasn't hidden, it was the operating system. While families struggled for bread, a parallel economy exploded. Huge foreign contractors, KBR, Fluor, Supreme Group walked away with billions. They in comparison only earned over $7.5 billion from training Afghan police, logistics, and support services. The logistic companies billed millions for services never delivered, and Afghan power brokers created fuel cartels, imports monopolies, and shell companies to win tenders from every direction. Among the chaos, some projects did work. One of the biggest success stories is Afghan Saffron, a project called Promoting Value Chain West (PVCW) from FAO backed by US aid. The project worked with local traders to build their capacity to produce, process, and package saffron according to global quality and hygiene standards, equipping the producers with necessary machinery and assisting them in getting ISO certificates to export abroad. This exposure changed everything. Today, Afghan saffron is one of the highest quality products in the world. 1 kg of Nakin saffron sells for 85,000 Afghanis, around $1,278. This created a real value chain and sustainable impact. It connected farmers, processors, packaging companies, and exporters. This is the kind of projects that could have lifted the entire region out of poverty. But unfortunately, such long-term high-impact projects were rare. Let me show you how the aid system reshaped Afghanistan's job market. Let's imagine this is Taylor Scott, 37 years old. He got his master's degree in public policy, a mid-level program manager for a major humanitarian organization. In the United States, Taylor earns around 70 to 80K per year, a normal salary for this role. But when Taylor is deployed to Afghanistan as an expat, everything changes because Afghanistan is classified by the UN as a non-family high-risk hardship duty station. Here's what it means for his pay. His salary jumps to $120,000 to $150,000 per year. This includes a base international salary of $65,000 to $80,000, hardship allowance of plus 20 to 40% of base pay, hazard security allowance of plus 15 to 35%, post-adjustment multiplier of plus 20 to 35%, travel stipend every 6 to 8 weeks, full health insurance, pension contributions, and the lifestyle package. Most internationals receive a secure compound housing in some elite locations in Kabul like Wazir Akbar Khan, armored or security approved SUV, 24/7 security guards, drivers, designated routes, emergency evacuation insurance, per diem for field travel. With all this, Taylor isn't rich in Washington, but in Kabul, he earns double, spends almost nothing, and lives inside a fully protected system that very few Afghan ever experience in their lifetime. Now let's meet Khalid, 32 years old, an Afghan national, graduated from civil engineering, working as a program officer for a UN agency in Kabul. Annual salary is 35,000 to 55,000. Monthly take home is 2,500 to 4,200. The benefit he gets is a modest hazard pay, field travel allowance, a standard health insurance, living condition, modest apartment in Kabul, local commute support, basic security, not luxury villas or armored SUVs. Compared to international expatriates in Afghanistan, Khalid earns far less, but still significantly more than the most private sector Afghans' jobs. The aid gave him a life most Afghan engineers can't dream of. And now let's meet Umaid. He is 33 years old, graduated from civil engineering, a production manager in Afghan industry, a real builder, a real contributor to the economy. His salary is $250 per month. No perks, no security guards, no career growth. Now imagine if you're talented, hardworking, ambitious in 2020. Why would you work in Afghan industry when an NGO pays 10x more for simple work? This is how aid poached Afghanistan's brightest minds and drained the private sectors before it could grow. Talent left for entrepreneurship to become drivers, translators, admin staff, coordinators, assistants, instead of building businesses, industries, and companies. Countries don't raise through charity, they raise through markets, skills, and infrastructures. Humanitarian aid saved lives, but it also created invisible chains that held millions back. And the saddest part is, most of the money went back to the countries that donated it, through salaries, contractors, consultants, security companies, and supply chains. We lost many opportunities, not only because of foreign aid, but because of our own people failed to use it wisely. Aid was not just charity, aid was leverage. If you want to see more stories like this about Afghanistan development, economics, and real impact, like, share, and subscribe. And let's hope the next chapter of Afghanistan is written not by donors, but by Afghans themselves.